Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today I will be the first presenter. My name is Ayubalkis binti Ahmad Anwar. So my group will present the introduction to management of Yayasan Melaka. So we're going to first slide, which means that the objective of the study. So the objective of the study that we have learned is to state the intent of the concept of planning, organizing, leading and controlling, but relate the concept with the existing company organization. So another one is to study how management planning by using operational planning in single use plans and standing use plans. So we are going to the next slide. So Yayasan Melaka background. Okay, so here is the establishment, a state level statutory body established under the Melaka Foundation Enactment 1984. So that of establishment on 15 September 1984. So the starting operation at the old museum Jalan Kota Melaka. So another one is for the operating office history. So here is the timeline. So the latest of the building of Yayasan Melaka is on January 1, 2015, Yayasan Melaka had sold the building to Tenaga Nasional Berhad and start operation at Taman Bukit Kata Daman. So here is the organizational chart. So the name of the CEO is Ahmad Kamil bin Ismail, and you can see all the LLP. So another one is the mission and also the visions. So the mission is to acknowledge integrity, innovation and educated society, and also the vision is as a super organization that should always match shoulder with state leadership. So another is product and services. So here is Dewan Citra Kasih. So Dewan Citra Kasih is you can booking for ceremony, wedding ceremony, and they have VVIP of our red carpet. So also they have Rumah Citra Kasih, which is you can feel nostalgic because of the interior design, and also it can be a good memory for you. And also the college student residence. So it's to give an accommodation to student of UiT and Bandaraya Melaka, and also UTM Bandaraya Melaka. So the services carried out by the Yayasan Melaka are to do what the state government wants, especially to the big state government projects such as the 400 acre of seawater, the Melaka Gateway of Diplomatic Ties with China, and to safeguard the welfare of the people, especially in education, such as give scholarship to selected Melaka children, giving zakat aid to the poor and also asnaf, and holding educational programs such as English motivational workshop. Free PSR program provides students with a volunteer in similarize the diversity one heart one soul. And all of these programs are to achieve the objective of the Melaka Foundation, which is empower education of Melaka students.
I'm the second presenter. My name is Ahmad bin Ismail. So I will present to you about planning and decision making of Yayasan Melaka. First we go to the single use plan. Single use plan divided into three: program, project and budget. So the first one is program. Program are single use plan that govern a relatively comprehensive set of activities designed to accomplish a particular set of goals. For example, Yayasan Melaka makes a program based on an approved budget for the year itself. From the approved budget, then Yayasan Melaka will use the budget efficiently to make a program. Next. So the second one is project. Projects are direct effort of individuals or work groups toward the achievement of specific, well-defined objectives. Projects are typically less comprehensive and narrower in focus than program, and usually have predetermined target dates for completion. For example, usually projects that has been made usually are beyond their expectation. Usually, domestic government asks for Yayasan Melaka to do it, then they have to do so. A current project that in progress is the construction of the new Melaka Foundation building, as the current one is now only temporary. So the third one is budget. Budget often are undertaken as a part of planning effort because they specify the financial resource requirement associated with other plans such as program and projects. For example, in order to build up the new Melaka Foundation building, the budget for the project itself needs to be calculated properly and must be approved by the domestic government. The budgets are taken from the services that are being served in communities such as rented house, shop, and the investment towards subsidiaries and hoping for dividend. So the second one is standing plan. The standing plan that are used in Yayasan Melaka is on one, which is procedure. Procedure are more specific and action-oriented than policies, and they are designed to give explicit instruction on how to complete a recurring task. For example, in Yayasan Melaka, the procedure is depending on ISO SIRIM. All the procedure will be documented under SIRIM. There are 4 procedures in Yayasan Melaka, which are monitoring of subsidiaries, monitoring in Bursa Saham Malaysia, audit implementation, and salary confirmation. Yayasan Melaka will follow the action given from SIRIM, and not following the procedure provided by SIRIM is a big mistake that will lead to withdrawn SIRIM certification. So we go to the group decision making. In Yayasan Melaka, the leadership style used is the democratic style, which is in order to make decisions, leader will ask for opinions from their workers, but the leader will make the decision itself. Hence, in Yayasan Melaka, they use various types of decision making to solve any kind of problem that occur. The technique that used in Yayasan Melaka is brainstorming. For example, in Yayasan Melaka, in order to invest the money to gain dividend, they will ask opinion from their workers on which company should they invest and how much. They came up with 3 ways to invest, which is in a subsidiary company, associates, and simple investment.
My name is Mama Ashraf Isami. I will explain about organizing. Organizing is a process of determining the task to be done, who will do the task, how those tasks will be managed and coordinated. Manager will decide span of management and role organizational chart. Organizational can be divided into formal and formal organization. Yayasan Melaka is a formal organization that was formed based on the formal structure of the role according to the level of authority that has been set up within the organizational. The benefit of organizing can control employees through established system and procedure to make sure employees not lost and far away from the organizational management goals. For example, in Yayasan Melaka, the organizational needs to follow the procedure that subject to ISO SIRIM. Next. Organizational structure is formal system or networks that shows how organizational activities are divided, compiled, and coordinated, and also reflect relationship between different levels of management. The purpose is to indicate to each employee's area of responsibility, to coordinate the division of work and make the division clear, to show work to be done, and to indicate link of promotion. In Yayasan Melaka, the organizational structure that are based up in functional structures. It means that members of the organizational are grouped according to the particular function that they perform within the organization. The advantage is facilitated specialization, which can improving operational efficiency, while the disadvantage is no emphasis on cooperation and exchange of ideas of others department due to different task areas. Next. This is the organized structure. Under the big manager Ahmed Kamil bin Ismail, there are 7 managers, which is senior marketing and investment manager, senior management and human resources manager, senior project manager, senior financial and results manager, corporate and internal audit manager, integrity and public relations managers, and legal managers. Next we move to span of management. Defined as a number of employees that specific manager needs to manage. Span of control can be divided into 2, which are wide span and narrow span. The wide span is used when there is a routine job or usual job which is under manager. Many employees are being controlled, or means manager will not need to spend as much time to support employees, while the narrow span is used when tasks are difficult and complex, and only a few employees that manager should be supervised. In Yayasan Melaka, span of management that we use is more to narrow, because When referring to the organization structure, there are 7 managers under the big manager. Furthermore, we can look forward as example for senior marketing and investment manager. She has 3 orders manager under her span of control, which are marketing manager, investment manager, and department manager. So it can be known as narrow span management. Yes. The advantage for narrow span is better communication between manager and the workers provided. Manager will give better control over their smaller quantity of employees. The advantage is when there are a small number of employees under one senior manager, organizational requires more managers to be employed. The salary to pay to each senior manager will be very expensive. Next. Let's move to delegation. Delegation is process that happens when the authority is delegated to the employees in organization. However, the final decision is made by the upper management. The main purpose is to empowering employees' individual skill to successful the task with effective and efficiency. Yayasan Melaka was also using delegation on their employees' daily work activities. The benefit is to developing employees' skill and increasing creativity. It is because when managers give to their employees the freedom to tackle delegation tasks in their own way, they are actually empowering them to be more creative to handle the work efficiency. Second is trust, open communication, and engagement will boost between manager and employees. It is done because to avoid employees who are afraid to take initiative or feel apprehensive about bringing new ideas to the tables. Manager who delegate tasks for the employees adequately help to build trust to the employees, and that trust is driven even further when manager maintain open for communication and listening. Next. The degree of delegation. The degree of delegation of upper management in Yayasan Melaka is at the medium degree level. Employees can investigate and report back, investigate and identify alternative, and investigate and recommend a course, but the upper manager who will take any action. Either they should take any action from employees' idea or not. Delegation may not be successfully, but that because of many reasons, such as lack of confidence in employees' ability, the time crush between manager and employees because manager are too busy with other works, and manager will feel insecure about their own value to the organization. Thank you.
My name is Anis Hazwani binti Alias. I will explain about leadership and motivation. First, leadership is a social influence process to influence people to achieve a common goal. To be an effective leader, a person have to create an inspiring vision of the future, motivate and inspire people to engage with that vision, manage delivery of the vision, and coach and build a team. So there are three types of leadership style. First is autocratic style. Autocratic style is a leader hold all the authority and responsibility and will make the decision. Second is laissez-faire style. Laissez-faire style is a leader give fully responsible to employees to make the decision. And the third is democratic style. Democratic style is the employees involved in the decision making. Next. Yayasan Melaka use the democratic leadership style because they are more to the open-minded during make the decision. The second is they can get more creative solution and greater innovation in the result. The third one is collaboratively using the opinions to get the right way at solving such as complex issue. And the fourth is can build a strong team between them. Next is types of power. Power is defined as the ability to use human, informational or material resources to get something done. There are two types of power. First is position power. Power attributed to one person in the organization. First is legitimate power. Power based on formal authority. Second is coercive power. power to discipline. Third is reward power, power control over tangible benefits. And last, information power, power based on control of information. And the second one is personal power, power derived from interpersonal relationship between leader and followers. First, expert power, power that influence person because of expert knowledge. And the second is referent power, ability to influence person based on charisma and reputation. And Yayasan Melaka use the position power. The first is information power, that employees had enough information so they can easily do their work using the information given. And basically they can use the information through their unique skill of always knowing the latest news that others want and may need to know. And the second one is reward power. Employees in Yayasan Melaka will get the bonus when they perform in achieve target. And the second one is employee in Yayasan Melaka will have family gathering with all their employees for once a year. So next to motivation. Motivation is a force, either internal or external to a person, that act as inducement or that influence action to do something. Three things that managers can approach to motivate. First, need-based approach is a model of motivation that focus on a person's needs as motivator. Second is process approach, is a model of motivation that focus on understanding the thought process in influencing motivating. And the third is reinforcement approach, are based on learning and examine how consequence mold behavior. So Yayasan Melaka is the needs-based approach. First, they have a Best Employees Award for once a year to the employee that have achieved the best performance in their work. Second is they have many types of reward such as bonus and at the end of year to make the employees more motivated to give their best performance. And the last, family day, they have family day at once a year for the family gathering. So they with all the employees to keep their relationship and get more to know the employees' background.
So my name is Nur Atika binti Abdullah Zabudin. So now I want to talk about control. Control is a process where manager needs to monitor all the activities occur in the organization and take action to ensure that all the activity leads to achieving goals. So control is really important in organization because to ensure that the activities occur is help them in achieving their goals, and they also want to help them in define all the uncertainty that happen in the organization. So for Yayasan Melaka, they do controlling based on ISO certification. So ISO is an international standard setting body composed of representatives from various national standard organizations. For example, ISO requirement that used by Yayasan Melaka is process of payment documenting must be done within 14 days, or registration of purchasing and renting house need to be processed within 3 days only, and respond to all correspondence within 3 days. So when Yayasan Melaka do controlling, they need to do based on this step. Firstly, they will set the performance target, which is ISO requirement, and then they will measure the actual performance. For example, the payment must be done within the 14 days. So they will see that whether the payment will be done within 14 days or 13 days or 15 days. So and then they compare with the ISO. Is it 14 days? Is it they obey the ISO requirement? And then if they didn't obey the ISO requirement, they will take action on it. And then if they are following the ISO, there will no correction action is necessary. Next one is communication. Communication is a process of interacting with subordinates, peers, supervisor, customer, supplier and others. For Yayasan Melaka, they communicate with other people using formal communication. Communication is really important in organisation because they want to directly control and inform others to do their work. For example, when they are having a second importance of communication is to motivate employee to do work. So when the employee do the works rightly or they do the works efficiently, so the manager will show their appreciate through maybe they just talk nicely, and if the employee didn't do work efficiently, they will talk nicely and using the right word to ensure that the employee didn't hurt employee heart feeling.